everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Tuesday, January 16th, 2018. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Please remember, everyone, you can help support this show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, we do go live Monday through Thursday. I think I'm going to stop saying that part. Changing things right now, baby, right now. If you have news stories you want us to talk about, regardless of how old they are, please send them to our subreddit, which is our iRedditcast, or in an email to feedback.ireddit@gmail.com. Nathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I think I guess I'm all right. I think I'm getting an ear infection.
That sounds terrible. My
ear really hurts, and I feel kind of nauseous.
Yeah.
But I figured I was feeling nauseous from the sickness that I was just getting over. But I don't know, my ear really fucking hurts.
So you know that whole thing of there's an echo happening that we were talking about yesterday? I think I might know what that is. So what I was trying to do to improve our audio quality is to run the audio through a single band compressor. So what that does is, first I do a bunch of other stuff to remove silence and stuff like that. But what it does is it makes everything the same volume, is essentially the best way to think of that. So everything, no matter if I'm whispering really quietly or if I'm yelling really loud, it should all be the same volume. Now, I naturally move myself away from the microphone to adjust for that increased volume because that's a natural thing I do from announcing. So I was trying to make that adjustment so that would happen. Now, the thing is that any audio at all is all put at the same level. And so I have a pretty nice microphone here. It's a Heil PR40. And normally, so that Jennifer can listen to the show when she's here, I'll leave my speakers on. And something just fell in the house. Anyway.
Ooh, spooky!
Ooh! I'll leave my speakers on so that Jennifer can hear the show. But I think what's ended up happening is that my microphone is picking up ever so slightly the speakers. And on your regular audio, and when you're listening to it normally and stuff like that, you don't hear it because it is such an undertone. There's no way to hear it normally. But if I make everything the same volume all the way across the spectrum, then it's going to pick up and sound like an echo.
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
So I don't know if that's actually what it is or not, but I turned my speakers off today, and I will try that compression again after the show today and see if I still hear an echo. If not, then I know that that's what it is. Do you run open speakers, or is your only audio through your headphones?
My only audio is through my headphones.
Okay, well, something else to consider. It could also be that I'm not actually in the best recording space. I'm in a pretty open room, and while we have a lot of stuff on the walls, and this is a spongy fabric behind me, there could still be a level of reverberation that is actually coming from the room, especially because I'm very loud and my voice is very very deep, so it ends up that the sound waves bounce a lot easier. So anyway, anything else new with you?
I got to play those D&D games that were all Greek based, and that was really fun. But and we were thinking about playing some of that more today, but fuck, they want to play it 3 or 4 days back to back. It's fucking hard coming up with shit when you're mostly coming up with shit on the fly anyways.
That's cool. So that's all 3 of them, right?
No, that is literally just one of them.
Oh.
They just want to play it all back to back, the same one, over and over again.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I mean, I can come up with enough stuff. It's, fairly easy, but God.
Hey, Beanie, did anything break?
I mean, I wouldn't mind playing again today. It was a lot of fun.
Are you going to?
No.
Did anything break?
Not due to the ice.
Okay.
Because one of the players doesn't want to come over because of the ice on the road.
That's fair. The roads are pretty crappy right now. It's been warm and then cold, and we've had rain that just proceeded to freeze. So.
But global warming, right?
Well, see, the funny thing about that, in terms of a tangent, is climate change does not mean climate change as a result of global warming doesn't mean that it's going to just get hotter. It means that the climate is going to change. Climate and weather are 2 very different things. Weather is a result of climate. And when the climate is affected, especially in the form that is as a result of global warming, you get more erratic weather. So you get you get colder winters, you get hotter summers, you get crazy fluctuating weather patterns. Like, it was 65 degrees in a part of Alaska, like, yesterday, 2 days ago, in the middle of January, with as far north as we are. It should never be that warm. But because of the weird, crazy shit that's happening in terms of climate, that has begun to happen. So...
It amazes me how many people question whether or not climate is real.
Well, and like they're like,
and I mean, I hate to rain on their parades, but it definitely is real.
Jesus, Nathan, that was real bad.
It's a pun.
Well, and
that was
on
two back to back.
Was it? I must have missed the other one.
The weather climate is real.
Oh, yeah, I'd missed that one, thankfully, but it's now been brought to my attention. And like, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, this is the coldest winter that New York has ever had. There's no way that global warming is real. Like, no, that is a literal result of it, that you are going to have colder winters, and also winters that are like, oh, it's like a nice 50 degrees, and then we'll just drop down to like 0 or colder within a couple hours.
Oh, you mean like this winter for us?
This winter's stupid.
Yeah. So if you don't think global warming is real, like, you should sit there and really read about what it's supposed to do.
Please. Anyway, actually, you know, I need to adjust one thing on my board real quick. There we go. Hey, Nathan, will you say something for me?
Something.
Awesome, thank you. I needed to turn out my headphones a little bit because it was just a little too quiet. Shall we get started?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's an interesting news docket for you today.
5.
Paddington 2 is the 4th film to score 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with over 100 reviews.
This is submitted by Axido to our movies.
So, first off, Nathan, and I know that I'm not exactly the guy who is, like, up to snuff on movies and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a child, and Paddington is a child's movie. Is this a movie that just kind of, like, went completely under the radar? I don't even remember the first one coming out, and I
remember the first one coming out because they had this hilarious ass commercial about Paddington Bear trying to brush his teeth, and then he ends up flooding the fucking house. I heard the movie was great, and I've heard like nothing bad about Paddington 1. I haven't heard anything about Paddington 2 though, but apparently it's fucking bomb.
Apparently, because
the guy who wrote Paddington Bear like died recently too. It was like a couple months ago.
Also, isn't Paddington voiced by John Cena or some crap?
What? I don't think so.
Now I have to look. Paddington, IMDb. Paddington 2014.
Got Hugh Grant in it.
Uh,
Sally Hawkins.
It doesn't. Wait, hang on. Who's the voice of
Ben Whishaw.
Okay.
Ben Whishaw has been in the likes of Skyfall, Spectre, Cloud Atlas, of course Paddington, a bunch of other movies I haven't heard.
Does Paddington not talk?
I don't believe so. I think he just grunts for the most part.
Huh, okay. Anyway.
He was in I'm Not There. That was a good movie.
Back on track of what's going on, though. Paddington 2 currently has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes with 196 critical reviews. There are only 3 other films that can mate that, only one of which is a family movie, and that is Toy Story 2. The other 2 is 2008.
Huh, weird.
Yeah, 2008's Man on Wire and 2016 Things to Come.
Man, I really need to sit down and watch those. I haven't watched either of those. Now, the other white Mike had a good idea for a Rotten Tomatoes podcast.
What's that?
He wanted to call it Hole Up, and he wanted to sit down and watch the best movies on Rotten Tomatoes to see if they hold up.
I do believe there's like 3 podcasts that have names very similar to that.
Yep. Yeah, we found out after Googling it and finding out that there is a fuckload of other ones with pretty much the same idea.
Yeah. I mean, the podcast is an interesting venue to get into because there's a lot of duplicates. Do you want to know what one of the largest not sections, but niches. I guess I'll call it a niche genre of podcast is that exists?
Sure, go for it.
Give me a guess.
Movie reviews?
No. It is entertainment, though.
Bar reviews.
Funny. No. It is.
That was a good TV show, though.
Not only is it video game podcasts, but specifically World of Warcraft podcasts.
I mean, that makes sense. World of Warcraft has been the biggest video game for fucking
There are
almost
like
a decade.
600 of them.
Yeah, I fucking bet. There's a lot more podcasts for video games than I thought there would be. For instance, Eternal has like 5.
Yeah.
Eternal's like a fucking tiny goddamn game.
Yeah, interesting, impressive. I mean, we have a lot to contend with because we're such a broad category. We're technically in I think they shove news and politics into the same category. We were in comedy, and then I realized that while we're funny, that's not really quite the purpose of our show. So, yeah. Anyway, congratulations, Paddington. I didn't know you were a thing.
Yeah, it's been a thing.
Yeah, news and politics is what we're in. Speaking of which, everybody, if you want to do us a quick favor, if you have an iTunes account, will you go leave us a 5-star review? We have 8 5-star reviews right now, and that's great, but more of them continue to actually put us higher in iTunes algorithm so more people can find the show. It's a great free way to help us. You don't actually have to write a review. It's just the stars that matter.
And you're all stars.
You're all stars.
Except for you, and you know who you are.
Me, because I know nothing about most movies.
You know nothing.
Exactly.
4.
I know what that's a quote of, though.
Yeah, that's fine. That's because it's like been the biggest TV show since Friends.
Yeah, that and like not like the 2 quotes from Game of Thrones that everyone is just the 3. There's 3 that you just hear all the time, and that is "Winter is coming," "You know nothing," and "The Lannisters send their regards."
Which is fucking stupid because my favorite quote should definitely be up there.
Is it the chicken one?
No. It's close though.
What is it?
What the fuck, salami?
Interesting. That's
what happens is there's a character named Lami and he dies. He like gets murdered, and Arya is like monologuing, and I think it was Arya. Yeah, she's talking to the Hound about her friend Lami, and the Hound's just like, "What the fuck, salami?"
Nice.
But we always misquote it as "What the fuck, salami?"
Nice. Perfect. All right, anyway, back onto the actual news. The Senate's push to overrule the FCC on net neutrality now has 50 votes.
Oh, fuck. This was submitted by Habichuela Condolce to our...
Habichuela.
knowledge. Whatever.
That is beans and chocolate.
Oh, that sounds kind of gross.
If I remember correctly. Habichuelas are beans, and dulce, I believe, is chocolate, if I am remembering correctly. And con means with. Anyway, so actually back onto what's going on here. So one real quick thing on this is that this is pledged votes. These are not actual votes. These are co-sponsors of the bill to start the Congressional Review Act to overturn the FCC's decision to remove net neutrality and overturn the Title II status of the Internet. Now, so keep that in mind. These are pledged votes. These are co-sponsors. These are not actual hard yes votes.
These are people who are like, yeah, we'd probably do that.
There are 100 members of the Senate. 49 Democrats have said that, yes, they will co-sponsor it, and 1 Republican. They have to get 1 more person to actually get it through the Senate. Otherwise, it is a 50-50 tie. It goes to the vice president, and we know how that goes. Because Mike Pence has never done anything good for anybody with any of his votes. It's always just been whatever his party wants, and the Republicans don't like this plan. So, with that in place, they need to get 1 more vote, whether it's from one of the 2 independents that are currently in office or one of the other 47 Republicans.
It makes me real sad that there's not as many independents. There's only 2.
49 Republicans? Anyway, so they have to get 1 more, and even if they get 1 more and it goes to the vote and the vote goes through, then that isn't it. Then it gets passed on to the House. The Republicans have a massively larger majority in the House, and it has to get passed through there. And then even after it does, if it does get approved by the House, then it still has to be signed by the President.
Well, it has to be signed by the President, and that's not going to fucking happen.
So with that, the hope for this to actually happen is pretty low. Like, the chances, I guess I should say. Hope can be high, but understand that hope is but the first step on the road to disappointment, and this will definitely take you there. But as we talked about previously with the congressional review...
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, we also heard some shit chances of President Trump becoming president. Like, I feel like we might got this. Yeah,
maybe, right? But let's not hope for a catastrophe in that regard more than once. Like... Would you call Trump winning a miracle? Because I mean, I guess by definition it is, but miracles are normally a good thing.
It's by definition a miracle.
Got it.
However, it is not a good miracle, mind you.
Very well then. So, now what this is, as we talked about last time, it is a symbolic push because it is the midterms, 2018. Half of Congress, both House and Senate, are both up for re-election. And so, if with the current polls that
moderates and independents,
well, and with the polls that happen around net neutrality, somewhere around 83% of America reportedly wants net neutrality. So if you are one of the hurdles in the way, that is a...
And I feel like the people who don't want net neutrality are either rich or uninformed.
Or both.
Yeah, or both.
Or just bought off by the ISPs.
That's why I said rich.
I mean, hey, some of them got bought off for all of like $7,000. I wouldn't call that rich.
Yo, I would call that rich.
That's rich to our broke asses, but that is not rich.
Rich is rich is rich.
Richie rich? Got a fucking McDonald's in my house?
Yes, absolutely Richie rich.
Yes, perfect. So... this is a major platform for any open seat this election is net neutrality. Because realistically, when it comes down to elections, you need one or two talking points to get elected. Even though there are hundreds, you need two major points that you can push hard that resonate with your voters to get you into office. For instance, like the Roy Moore and Doug Jones. Roy Moore was winning all of those polls, only barely lost to Doug Jones despite being a sexual predator to teenagers.
Which is fucking astounding that it came down to that close.
Based, one, on party, because people will vote on party very heavily, and also because Roy Moore was pro-life and Doug Jones was pro-choice. That was a huge thing for that entire campaign, was the topic of abortion. And both of them pushed real hard on their sides. And some people, regardless of anything else, will vote based on one stance.
It's fucking astounding.
It is pretty astounding. But that's also why the internet, net neutrality, your access to the entirety of the world, the people across the world and the knowledge it has, is going to be such a powerful talking point in the 2018 midterms.
Yeah, and it should be a powerful talking point now, and it has been kind of a powerful talking point.
So, we'll see what happens, but I personally don't expect the Congressional Review Act to go through. If it does, awesome. That is great, and great for everybody, and great for us. But I don't believe it'll make it.
Well, here's hoping.
I think it'll make it through the Senate. I don't think it'll make it through the House.
Yo, that's why we gotta bring down the fucking House.
3.
NYPD union sues to stop the release of all Bodycam footage because it violates officers' civil rights.
It was submitted by MMA Chica to R Not the Onion.
So what's your immediate hot take, Nathan? On nothing but the headline.
On nothing but the headline, I find it, it has its layers of truth, right? Because it could very well violate officers' civil rights, but when they're put into a position like this, when this is their job, then they should stop bitching because, well, fuck, I have a fucking security camera literally right behind my head the entire time pointed at us.
Yep. Well, a New York Police Department union, the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, the PBA, filed a lawsuit on January 9th claiming that the release of police's body camera footage violates the officer's civil rights. And what that is that there is a civil rights law that prohibits respondents from releasing records used to evaluate an officer's performance towards continued employment or promotion that are under the control of any police agency unless they have a secured court order permitting them to do so. So what they are saying is that the body cam footage that has been released is breaking their civil rights because it could affect their ability to continue to be employed or to get promoted in their field. Okay? Now,
Sure.
all it says is records. You cannot release records that were used to evaluate performance. But the thing is that, one, I don't currently know, and this doesn't say, if police body cam footage is considered records used to evaluate performance. The other side of it is...
And if it's not, they can easily fucking make it.
Yeah, they could. The other part of it is, though, is that they are concerned about that they are selective in the release of body cam footage, in that they are not releasing all of it, only bits and pieces of it, which end up essentially like targeting the cops that the footage is associated with.
All right, so step one for every police officer wearing a body cam. Are you guys ready?
Put it on Twitch.
Don't be dicks.
Yeah, that's really what it needs to come down to.
Stop being fucking muscle-headed assholes. Do your fucking job. Protect and serve.
Like, and it's one of those situations of the body cam footage wouldn't matter if you weren't doing something wrong.
Right. Don't do fucking things wrong.
And that's
and if you do, make sure that on your fucking body cam it shows that, you know, you're not being a dick the entire time you did that thing wrong.
Yeah. Now, the lawsuit is actually against the mayor of New York, which ends up just going against New York itself because of the way that those things work. But they have responded, and the mayor and the police commissioner have spoken to the need to increase transparency in the way that the city is policed. And they believe that the release of body camera footage, when possible, is an important extension of that commitment. And,
absolutely.
Like, so, really, like, I understand where they're coming from of that, you know, like, I don't know what the answer is. Like, do you just release
right
all
now,
of it?
This is a huge contention point because there's this huge divisive movement in the United States. And I mean, it's been there for a while, but people dislike police officers. And that's because I feel that there are select few police officers in almost every fucking area that get it in their head that they have power, so they're going to abuse that power.
Sure.
There's always going to be dickheads who, when they have been given a fucking inch, are going to take a mile.
Sure.
I'm sorry that those police officers that are actual good people have to go through something like this, but I'm not saying one person ruined it, because let's be fucking real. Way more than one person has fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
This has been a continuous ruination of this for fucking since 80s, 70s, 60s even.
Since cops existed.
Since cops existed.
Like, how many stories are there of, you know, the corrupt sheriff in town?
Exactly. Since the fucking, since goddamn cowboys and westerns.
Yeah, it's always
anybody
been a
given
thing.
power is going to abuse it. See this administration. See literally every politician.
See most administrations. Like, people in power like to abuse it.
So this is helping people not abuse their power, and these people are saying it's encroaching on their rights, their civil rights.
Well,
but if we're gonna go with this and say that this is encroaching upon my civil rights, I'm gonna say let's take away every security camera inside of buildings.
Or alternatively, and now this is a drastically different option and could lead to significantly larger problems, just release all of it.
Yeah.
If you're concerned with that some officers are having problems because of selective releases of body cam footage, just make a public archive.
Yeah. Yeah. Stream it on Twitch. Fuck. If you want to go the fucking distance, require everyone who has a fucking job to wear a body cam.
Sure.
but I mean, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, and
that's really going the distance.
Yeah. So,
but I'll tell you what, I'll stop bitching about, you guys having to wear your body cams if you fucking make me wear my body cam.
Or, I won't care if I have to wear a body cam because I'm not the person who does, terrible things just because I have a car with blinking lights and a gun.
Absolutely. That being said, though, we don't view this way for every police officer. We actually view the police officers quite highly.
I have a very strong respect for police officers, especially considering the number of them that I have worked with in the past, or ones that have done good things for me and not as favors, like as part of their job, have done good things.
I currently have a favorable favorable view of police officers. Not so much when I was younger, but, it's part of being a punk.
So
you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't understand.
2.
It's a punk thing.
It's a punk thing.
China builds world's biggest air purifier.
Whoa! This was submitted by Ord, but last time medic to Our World News.
Do you want to take a guess at how big the world's largest air purifier is?
It's 52 stories.
How tall is a story?
I don't know.
Okay. It's 328 feet tall.
Fuck. Count on the buildings back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 11 stories in the building back there. That's raised, I think, slightly higher. I'm not 100% sure because there's, a distance between them. I would say it's about 328 feet high,
In any case, China has built a massive air purifier that is literally just a huge tower. That what it does is it has essentially glass houses, a glass base that collects air underneath it, condenses it, and then pushes it up through the tower, which is full of filters, and the air exits to the top, and they do this by heating it so that it will rise up through. And it does a fantastic job of cleaning all the smog out of an area that's like 4 square miles.
Yeah, and they kind of really need that,
They do. They have horrible smog problems, especially because the largest supplier of heat and power in China is still coal. And in the winter, it gets substantially worse because that just kind of hangs out near the ground.
It gets so bad that they have to run around with fucking masks on their face.
It's so bad that some dude was able to make a brick out of nothing but smog by collecting it out of the air.
It's fucking... Yeah, it's pretty bad. I want to see the filters on this bitch.
Well, now they are intending to make an even bigger one. This is actually the test site, and presuming that this continues to go well and is manageable, it's mostly solar powered, so that also means that it is very efficient. If it does continue to go well, then they intend to build several other ones that are over 1,500 feet tall around other areas in China.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they definitely need it. We need it over here in a couple places, but not nearly as bad as they do.
No, they have it beyond the worst. We could use one in some places in California pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But California's also tried to clean that up and get better.
Yeah, they had a South Park episode about it. Instead of smog, they had smug. And it's because everyone was switching to smart cars, so everyone started getting real smuggy, and it was releasing out into the atmosphere.
That's... God damn it, South Park.
It's fucking gold.
Aziz Ansari is guilty of not being a mind reader.
This was submitted by Urinomos to our television.
So there has been a Me Too claim, a sexual assault claim against Aziz Ansari by a popular blogger whose name I don't feel like sharing. And what happened is that they got to go on a date with Aziz Ansari.
No. The blogger didn't. The blogger interviewed someone who did.
Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting me, sir. So this person went on a date with Aziz Ansari. Here's what happens. I'm not going to go into all the weird little stupid bullshit details of the other stuff that it was in this interview and what they said. What happened is they went over to his apartment. They got together. They went out to eat. After they got done eating, he quickly paid the check and scurried them out of there. Went back to his apartment, and they started getting busy. Now, at no point in at this time had she said no, but apparently she said that she was very uncomfortable and tried to non-verbally express her discomfort to Mr. Ansari until once they were fully unclothed and were getting farther into it, he asked her if she would like to have sex in front of the mirror. at which point she said, no, I am not comfortable with that, or this really. And he said, cool, do you want to put your clothes back on and we'll just hang out on the couch and watch Seinfeld? And so that's what they did. And then so he's like, yeah, you want to just make out? And she said no, so he called her an Uber and she left. And then she said that, he assaulted her and all this stuff. But she never once said no until she did say no, and he immediately stopped.
The nonverbal cues. And I will agree, nonverbal cues are very important.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder what these nonverbal cues are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just saying, like, when you speak to someone, when you talk to someone, 80% of it is not even your voice talking. It is the way you hold yourself, and it is your facial expressions and everything else. It is body language. So if her body language was not being picked up by him, there was either the body language wasn't strong enough, or he was just either too dense or ignoring it completely.
Well, like, Aziz Ansari is a blatantly awkward dude that I could easily see not understanding social cues.
I will tell you, I've missed social cues plenty of times when it comes to women.
And like, I mean, pushing someone away could have been a good, nonverbal social cue, but it doesn't come across as though that's what happened.
The thing that really gets me about this, though, is that she said no, and he immediately was, well, I don't know if it was immediate, but he was like, yeah, okay, and threw their clothes back on and started watching Seinfeld.
Yeah. Now, he did try again. He tried, to put a schmooze on her, and she said no again, and he's like, okay, well, you want me to just call you an Uber? And so he did, and so that was it. Like, and this is a concern, a problem with the potential for any movement, is the people that jump on it for a level of attention, for a level of monetization, because this is, like, compared to, like, Weinstein, this is nothing. Like, it is up to you.
And now, if this was recurring, if this was a theme, then sure.
Sure.
But this is a one-time thing, as far as we know.
As far as we know. And, I mean, a lot of people just chalk this up to a bad date.
Mm-hmm. I certainly would.
Now, I will...
Though, actually, if I was in Aziz's position, I probably wouldn't think it's a bad date until she tells me, the next morning that she didn't want to have anything to do with me, in which case I'd be like, oh, bad date then, okay.
You're like...
Which apparently is, like, my curse when it comes to dates. I only get first dates. I never get anything after. And I, like, go on my best behavior and everything.
Do you want me to go on a date with you, Nathan?
No.
And
I prefer attractive people, Michael.
Ha! Boom! You can tell, and I'll let you know if you're creepy and awkward.
No,
you get free food out of it.
Okay, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're trying too hard?
Maybe. That could probably be it.
Vivi, get up here and let us know.
So Vivi in the chat says, would she have revealed her name if things went her way?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. But the other thing is that it was a weird interview with a blogger, and, like, it wasn't, like, any actual action. Just be like, yeah, so this happened. Can you believe he ordered white wine when I didn't tell him that I wanted red wine?
I think it was the other way around. I think that he brought in red wine and she wanted a white wine.
Whatever.
Wine.
So it is up to you on whether you would consider this as sexual assault as part of the Me Too movement or not. Now, talking from a man's perspective, I would not. Especially when there are so many other drastic cases out there. Like, this is, I mean, Aziz is probably an awkward dude. It was probably an awkward situation altogether, but at least he was respectful enough to that as soon as you did say no, he said, cool, let's watch Seinfeld.
Sounds like an episode of Master of Disguise.
Potentially. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah.
Is that the name of it? I think it's Master of Disguise.
The movies?
No, his TV show on Netflix.
Oh, I have no idea.
Master of something. I don't remember what it was.
I am a master of disguise.
Yo, Dana Carvey hasn't been in anything very big like since then. It's real unfortunate. Dana Carvey's hilarious.
Oh, that is his name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He was also fucking Garth in Wayne's World.
What else has he been in? He was a voice in The Secret Life of Pets. He was a voice in Hotel Transylvania.
Oh, I knew that one, actually.
He was a voice in Rick and Morty.
Really?
Leonard Smith from the Anatomy Park episode.
Oh, that's...
You're right there?
Oh, I didn't realize that was Dana Carvey. That's fucking cool.
No, he's not been in, like, jack shit.
Mm-hmm. He had his own TV show in 1996.
He's appeared on several...
No,
he's appeared in 131 episodes of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, one of his last movies was Jack and Jill. That's probably what fucking did it. He was in Halloween 2, which was awesome. Fucking loved Halloween 2. Actually, I enjoyed Halloween 3, and a lot of people don't. But that's, it gets into splitting hairs when it comes to Halloween 3.
Sure. Hey, Nathan.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
What'd you care about in the last 24 hours?
I cared about getting home because my ear hurts really bad, and I plan on taking a bunch of antibiotics that I have left over.
Yeah, you can also clean your ear out.
You're not supposed to stick anything in your ear, Michael.
I didn't say stick anything in it. You can use water and shit to clean it out, bro.
No.
Why not?
Because it'll probably actually hurt quite a bit. Actually, I planned on hopping in the shower anyways.
Just pour some salt in there.
Wow. Yeah, actually, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
It'll dry up everything in there and everything.
Well, you wash it out.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to leave it.
No.
Wow, no wonder I'm so fucking salty.
Chadwick said he cared about 26,000. 26,000 what? I don't understand. What is 26? Can I Google 26,000 and something show up? Oh. I understand now. The Dow hit 26,000. And so that is in regards to the stock market. And so what that means is that Mr. Chadwick's portfolio is probably doing well.
Probably. It's most likely doing well. Seeing as how he's happy about it.
Well, it's actually grown a lot just in the last year. It's grown over 6,000 just in the last year. It's pretty impressive.
For capitalism.
Capitalism, yes.
Ugh.
As other people, as the cryptocurrency market goes, oh my God, it's crashing.
Yo, I had some people today start a disillusion, and they were talking about how they were splitting their cryptocurrency, and they had to stop their disillusion, filing it, and they had to leave the table because they might have had to come back with a divorce.
Wait, say that one more time?
So these people had a dissolution.
Which
They're
is?
It's a divorce, but both people are in agreement.
Okay.
So they have the petition, most of it's signed and everything. They're getting ready to, essentially split on their terms. And then they start reading about their own, the guy starts reading off what they say about cryptocurrency to her, and she starts, freaking out on him because that's not what they agreed upon, apparently. And so they had to take their paperwork away from my table because I don't think they're getting a dissolution anymore.
Unfortunate.
And I think it's purely because of fucking Bitcoin.
I mean, Bitcoin crashed hard over the last week.
And what other cryptocurrency is there? Because, they were talking about cryptocurrency. It could be actually more than just Bitcoin, but I figured it's mostly Bitcoin.
Oh, dude, there are hundreds of cryptocurrencies. There are a few that are the main ones that people are looking at. You'd be looking at things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple. There's a couple others that you could be looking at. But the larger ones, which the three that people really considered, the four that people consider to be the largest are the four that I just named, all of which had a pretty hard crash over the last week, which is really just
apparently one guy might have been the one driving Bitcoin. Researchers find that one person likely drove Bitcoin from $150 to $1,000 in a new study published in the Journal of Monetary Economics.
I mean, it's possible. If you had enough money and you bought enough of it, it can drive the price up. But
yeah, you keep telling that to fucking Eric at Bosco's. He keeps buying those Earth Binds.
Oh, damn it. So, I mean, Bitcoin took one of the largest drops. I mean, they had almost pushed all the way up to $20,000 of Bitcoin, and then today it dropped almost down to $10,000. It's just the market correcting itself. There was a pretty big bubble that had been created, but most of the cryptocurrencies that are actually legitimate are expected to continue to grow and rise, at least the ones that have actual applicable uses, which are the ones such as like Ripple, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, because they are the ones that actually have the potential to be an actual currency at some point, because none of them are currently. It's all just speculation. So, yeah, but we'll see what happens in terms of crypto. Crypto's an interesting world altogether.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to be getting into it until it's like super popular and mainstream and forced upon us.
And then at that point, there's no longer potential for growth.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Bitcoin is currently sitting at 10,700, which, I mean, in just the last week, that is down over $4,000 a coin, and in the last month, that is down 9,000. So, but as like with most things of that variety, especially when it comes to things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stocks in general, unless something catastrophic happens to the core of it, whether it's a particular stock or a particular cryptocurrency, they're called corrections. They happen. The market corrects itself, especially when there's a huge increase. People sell out. They want to capitalize on that spike. So then that floods the market, and so that drives the market back down, and it continues to do that entire cycle. But as long as there are people continuously doing long-term investments of just buying and sitting on it, and more people continue to do that, that will continue to push the price of both stocks and crypto up. Which is what's expected to happen with the larger cryptos, the ones that have built a more stable base.
Like the Bitcoin?
Yeah, like Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will continue to grow, especially if there continues to be potential for major industries to actually pick it up as a currency.
Well, that's good to know.
So, I'm not going to tell you to invest in crypto. That is completely up to you. Remember, everybody, to invest wisely. Don't invest more than you are willing to lose, because there is always the potential that whatever you're investing in will fall through the floor. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind. And especially in terms of crypto and in any form of investment, even if you're looking at buying stock, be sure to know what your tax responsibilities are, and also do some research into what you're investing in. Don't just buy Bitcoin because it's the one you know. You might want to actually find out what Bitcoin does. Same with Ethereum and Litecoin, and see if those are things that you're actually interested in investing in.
Start investing in marijuana.
That's a very legitimate thing. You can look for publicly traded marijuana industries and buy shares in their stock if you believe that is a safe, strong investment. So, yeah. Be sure to invest responsibly. It's important. And it's a good way to actually turn into some profits. And also, with stocks, it's a little bit different. Depending on the stock, you may only have the option of buying an entire stock. But with like crypto, you don't actually have to buy an entire Bitcoin. You don't have to drop $10,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You can buy a portion of a Bitcoin. And so if you spend $50 today on a $10,000 Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin goes back up to $20,000, well, that $50 is now $100. And you can do that math with any amount you want. Now, understand though that the majority of investments do not do that quickly, and that's why Bitcoin also had its drop recently, because it surged from 8,000 to 19,000 in about a month, which is ridiculous. Normally, that growth is seen over a matter of like 5 years. That's why it's long-term investment. Now, there is the potential you could see some cryptos continue to do things like that. But again, be sure to invest wisely and do research into what you're investing in. Anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just do more research. Pretty much on everything, not just investments.
Yeah, also on news stories, which, I mean, we could say that to ourselves, but unfortunately we don't have the time to do in-depth research on every single one of the topics we talk about. So that's also why feel free to call us out if we're wrong on something.
Yeah.
You ready to get out of here,
not.
Nathan?
Either or, whatever.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm ready to go lie down because my fucking ear hurts.
One last thing, actually, is unless something changes, we will not have a show on Thursday. My child has a pre-test for her black belt, and so I will need to be attending that, and that is unfortunately right during the time of the show. Oh, stomach just gave me a bunch of pain because I'm old enough now to have acid problems in the tummy.
Way to suck.
Yeah, right? The things that you, like, I remember watching, what is the goddamn purple pill that is always the acid reflux pill?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My mom has it.
There was
Is it Prilosec OTC?
Yeah, that one. There was advertising for it all the time. I remember being like 14 that I'm like, man, I'm never going to have that problem. I can eat whatever the fuck I want. I don't even have an upset stomach. And now I'm just like, oh, a little bit of salsa. My tummy's like, acid. And I'm like, what? Fuck. No one told me these problems started at 25, and they're like, "Oh, you made it to 25. Good job on you, friend." And I'm like, "It sucks, Tums." Oh, nom.
That's completely understandable.
Yeah, right. It's rude. Anyway, so I need to double check with Jennifer on what's happening.
I haven't quite got there yet, but I am aiming for the day that my body starts dying.
Perfect. That's about 25. So, Nathan, I'm dying better than you.
Oh, man, that's disappointing.
Isn't it?
Also, not really at the same time.
Whatever. Anyway, so I will confirm tomorrow on Wednesday on whether we will have a show the next day on Thursday. And then after that, we should be good on things taking days away from the show for quite some time. There won't be as many interruptions. The holidays are over. So after that, we should be good to go in terms of shows not happening. And we'll continue to push forward from there. So thank you, everybody, for your continued support. There are many ways you can help us, follow us, and share us on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those are at iReaditCast. You can throw money at us. We love you, and we will do special things for you if you throw money at us. And you do so at patreon.com/dailyinternet. You get things back for that. If you get value out of the show, if you find that this show is valuable to you, show us some value back. Even if it is just $1 a month, we are super appreciative.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Otherwise, if you are wondering where else you can find the show, it's on YouTube and Facebook in video form. It is in a downloadable form on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and most other podcatchers. If you want to find anything regarding me, just search Schwahn Michael on social media, and Nathan is at Bimmenstein.
Mm-hmm.
That is your 415th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody, I hit the button a little early.
Yeah, you did.
I apologize. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.